totally expected to something strange. It's time to go to a place where improv dreams come true. And all we need is you. It's the world's nerdiest improv show. ween.is, ween.is, don't you know? Get your internet connected on your screen aglow, and we'll make it up as we go. The world's nerdiest improv show.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the world's nerdiest improv show, parentheses, W-N-I-S, parentheses, weenus. The parentheses are said out loud.
And we are your hosts. I'm Katrina Charles.
And I'm Jen DeHaan. Oh, I'm remembering to put up our names this week, finally. I think it's been weeks and weeks, and I haven't remembered to do that. This is the show where we talk about improv stuff.
We do. And I can't see the screen on Twitch.
So what I'm saying doesn't mean anything at all. And to our podcast listeners, I was putting little name tags up with that dinging that you probably heard.
And I'm flying blind, so I don't know what's happening this show. But I'm along for the ride.
That's right. I think we're all along for the ride tonight. Oh, it's been a day. How has your week been, Katrina?
Oh, it's actually been pretty good. I cooked something.
Did you?
I did.
Something must have been so
I can't remember what it was.
Remember what it was.
I have no idea what it was, but I do remember I cooked it and I was proud because I cooked it and I ate it.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's good that it got to the eating point of that equation.
Yes.
It must have been good. I've just made basic food this week. That's it. That's pretty normal. We have a comment in the chat. Hello, Twitch listener. Let's see if we can even get that up on our wall tonight. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I've had a little bit of a week, but it hasn't been bad. It has been pretty mild this week in the terms of weather and everything like that. Watching a little bit of improv, watching some movies this week. We've got a special segment tonight from TJ, who is going to tell us about a movie that has improvisers starring in it, which I'm kind of excited about.
I'm very excited for our new segment with TJ. So.
Yeah. I actually even watched the movie last night after.
Oh, did you?
TJ sent us the clip. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I missed out on some information. So I couldn't prepare, but it's okay.
Well, you'll get it tonight, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just be a day late. I'll have to talk about it next week.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
Oh, hey, Jonathan.
We're welcoming. See, our thing is not working where our oh, there we go. We're getting things up on our wall now. How exciting. We're just still working out some of the Twitch stuff in this particular streaming environment. It's new to integrate the Twitch with it. So
New fun things.
Well,
thank you for watching. Good to see you.
Yeah,
on the internet.
On the internet. Exactly. Well, what soup is our show brought to us tonight by? Every episode is brought to us by a different soup. This week's soup is ginger turmeric chickpea noodle.
Maybe that's what I cooked.
Oh, is that what you cooked?
Well, the chickpea noodle, that rang a bell. I put chickpea noodles in a soup this week.
Ah.
It was pretty good.
I love it. Yeah, chickpea, and having some potatoes in there is pretty good as well. You see in our picture, got potatoes, and I'm also putting the recipe for this soup in our show notes. So if anybody does want this particular soup, you can go check it out and make it yourself. Like maybe Katrina did this week.
Just the noodle part, but maybe I'll make the other part this week.
I love it. Well, for the next part of our show, we would have a guest if a guest was here, and we are working on that. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, we will have a guest visit us from the improv world to talk about improv. That will be pretty exciting.
Indeed.
Indeed. Shall we run some ads now, Katrina?
Let's run some ads, Jen.
Let's run those ads. All right, rolling ads.
You've done everything right. You've worked hard, stayed focused, but you're still not where you want to be. Sometimes you wonder if you'll ever get there, if you'll ever make younger you proud. With each passing day, you remember the dream you had as a child and wonder if it's too big, too out of reach, impossible. You wonder, will I ever be a shark? You fondly remember summers spent at the local pool, carefree, pretending you had fins, occasionally giving other kids kickboards a test bite, like a real shark would. You never felt so free, so yourself. You told yourself you'd take that desk job and rise the ranks until you got there. But every year, it became more and more clear. You're too good at what you do. They'll never promote you to shark. The company needs you as a human who can type, not a fish, no matter how cool of a fish. You think of your younger self, the disappointment they would feel seeing where you are now, a victim of capitalism with just one set of crummy human teeth that you still have to floss, bogged down by boring grown-up stuff like you promised wouldn't happen. Well, it's time to end all that. And while we here at ween.is don't have the technology to make you a shark, and probably never will, we don't have a budget, we can improvise. And you can too. You don't have to wait to become what you want to be. Try improv and be anything. Improv. Sure, you can be a shark if you want.
I recently made 2 advertisements regarding the best suggestion in response to the prompt items that might be found in a kitchen. I received a huge response to my incredulousness in the second ad regarding my mom's suggestion that pig platters are indeed the best suggestion in response to items that might be found in a kitchen. At first, the public response to that video was a light trolling. And then it fell into a Photoshop Jen onto a horse's ass phase. And then the response turned into abject rage. I received this handwritten response from Alex Barge. Dearest Jen, you obstinate groat-licker. You owe your mother an apology. Pig platter was a suggestion at my Herald audition in 2009, and it led to a solid first and second beat. And those scenes led to my acceptance onto the house team Don't Frog It Up. Don't Frog It Up had a solid run of shows between September 2009 and February 2010 when we were replaced by Lone Salad Fork. I met Mary hand-to-hand on Don't Frog It Up, who asked me out to coffee, and we had a nice 5-year platonic relationship. Mary helped me move from Boise to Salt Lake City in 2014 before we mutually drifted apart. It wasn't a ghosting, but more of a gentle parting of ways due to physical distance. Out of sight, out of mind, you know. Or maybe she wanted something more. I think I might actually send Mary a text one of these days to see if she's still in Boise, now that I've moved back, and she might want to catch up. But it's kind of weird after a decade drift, you know? If you have any input on what I should do, I'd welcome your thoughts on that. You seem like the kind of person that people generally drift away from. But I reckon those drifters also don't want to get back in touch with you, you know? I mean, in other words, I can't imagine that you actually have friends. You have that look about you. Like desperation mixed with intense agony and a dash of existential dread. You're kind of like oil and water with humanity in general. Well, on that note, you are full of horse shit on the pig platter thing. You'd actually be lucky to be full of pig shit, but you clearly don't deserve the honor of pig shit. And I'm spelling honor without a U because I know you're Canadian and you don't even deserve the spelling your region typically utilizes. From Alex. Well, thanks, Alex. I'll respond to this soon about catching up with Mary. I have some ideas, but I need to go buy some international stamps first to send it to you. And I spell honor both ways. I received this note in cursive from Teresa Boxsmith. To Jen. You mousy, junko-loving pudding pop not worth the oxygen you breathe in. You should burn in the flames of third-tier hell making a video like this. Barb, your loving mother, who loves you dearly, is clearly the correct person here regarding the pig platter thing. You see, I took a level 3 class in 2017 and I got the suggestion of rabbit platter in the 5th session. I saw that you were holding a rabbit platter and called it a pig platter like the wildly unintelligent mud puncher I always knew that you were. And that suggestion that we got in level 3 led to a tag run that heightened so much you would clearly put out your neck trying to observe the scene. In fact, I doubt someone of your general stature could even keep up with that tag run. Anyway, that tag run was with Richard Grout and Lisa Greenland, and we ended up with Lisa playing a pizza chef that kept dropping the dough on her foot. It was hilarious, not that you would understand that, and most of the other students laughed too. Lisa dropped it over and over again. And inspired by the dough scene, the three of us went to Little Wheatberries Pizza around the corner from the theater after the class and ordered Stromboli, which led to the formation of our team, Just Leave Me in the Well, Please. The Stromboli wasn't nearly as good as the pizza that we made in the scene, though. If you know of a place with good Stromboli in or near Philadelphia, reach out. Just leave me in the well, please. Went on to submit an application to the Deep Lake North Festival in 2019, and we didn't get in that year. But it was only because the organizers said we used too many mild puns and had too much aggressive wordplay in our submission tape. Actually, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure our rejection from that festival in 2019 is because of the bad energy from your pig platter video. I just didn't realize it back then. XO, Teresa. Teresa, I actually know someone who might have a recommendation for quality Stromboli in your area. I'll write back soon once I get some international stamps. And you're probably right about that festival rejection. And this comment on Instagram from Richard Grout 5356, you are most likely in violation of the terms of service with a video that's this low quality. Yeah, that one's fair, Richard Grout 5356. No notes. So many of you, I reckon, are looking for an apology. But instead, I give you this message from Barb, which should be sufficient.
My daughter Jen is a real stinker. This is Barb for pig platters as an item that might be found in a kitchen.
Welcome back. Maybe. I'm trying to check if we're still online. I hope we're still online. It says that we are still streaming, so hopefully we are. Katrina, are you there?
I'm here, but having some internet issues, so it may be a me problem.
That's what I'm watching. I'm like, what's happening as our ads are rolling? But hopefully we're still here. It looks like we're still here. Oh, there goes Katrina. So we've got some internet issues, everyone. There, Katrina's back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the fun of the internet. The fun of the internet. Yeah.
Well, carry on without me if I disappear.
We'll get you back if you disappear.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll go turn off every electronic.
We'll turn off all the lights except for the ones that we do right here. Yeah, just conserve the energy.
Okay. This is pretty consistent though, so hopefully it's working.
Well, we're improvisers, so we will make it work. All right. Well, let's do the next segment. We're going into As Seen on the Internet.
As Seen on the Internet.
Katrina, what is this part all about?
Oh, this is about stuff we saw on the internet.
That is true. Any stuff or particular stuff?
Like particular things and stuff.
I love things and stuff. This is all about the internet articles about improv or something we've seen that reminds us of things that we learn in improv. So this is about learning improv things and stuff. And let's see, we've got some slides to bring us to. Katrina, this is an article that you found.
It is. And I, again, can't see what's happening. So sorry if I seem extra spacey. It's because I am. But I found this article. It's about narrative improv, which is something I really enjoy. So narrative improv, unlike its friends, long form and short form, narrative is a story, essentially. It starts off one place and ends in a different place, but it's all one consistent story. So this article I found, which will be linked somewhere after the show, it had just some tips for narrative improv. So you just tell one story. Then the first thing you do is you make or discover your protagonist, so who the story will follow. And then you find a want for your protagonist. So like an emotional want, but it can be a thing, but it's an emotional need tied to the thing if it's a thing. And then not to wait to do things. So don't say something's going to happen and then wait until the end to get there. Like just go there and see what that takes you through, which I thought was a good suggestion, because I feel like I've been in a lot of scenes where we're like, oh yeah, we're going to this place, and then we're like, oh, but we have to do 90 things first before we get there, and then we have to invent like 90 things before we get there. So instead, just go to the place, and then something else will come up organically. one of the other things I liked was weird shit will happen anyway. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So no matter what, just weird things will happen that will help guide the story. So you don't have to like invent. And then let it go where it goes. So don't try to control it too much because it's going to go wherever it's going to go because it's like a group project. People are going to bring in their own thoughts and opinions, and it's just going to go wildly off the rails in one direction. So just let it
happen.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and don't control it too much.
Yeah.
Control freaks like me, it's like, nah, just stop. Just stop. Don't do what you're doing. Have you done a lot of narrative, Katrina?
I haven't done a lot of it. I have done a few times, I think, but much less than short form or long form. But I think I like narrative kind of the best, just because I do like having the full story, and just kind of making it up as you go. I think that's really fun. So that's why I wanted to bring in an article about it today.
Yeah, I love that. I have appreciation for long form. I have very, very little experience in it. I am definitely not. I don't consider myself a narrative type person. I've tried them. I think it's good to try all the things, but I'm really into this game of the scene stuff. I dare say. Yeah.
I mean, I think in narrative you can probably still have a game of the scene a little bit.
Yeah.
There's probably like a good like 50-50, like get the story going, but also have that.
Yeah, there's like when we do documentary form, doc form, and movie form, you can do that with game style. And there is, there's definitely a place for story in game of the scene, but yeah, the long story arcs and following different types of the different story types, that's definitely in the narrative side of things more than game, I would say. Yeah. Should we go on to the next slide?
Yes.
All right. Let's see what we got next. I'm just like, what did I put in? I don't remember. This is improv. So I found this this post on the subreddit, the improv subreddit, and the post I think was made yesterday. AI being used to create posters for improv shows. Is this good or bad or neither of those things? So I guess somewhere in the middle. And I think it's a really good question to ask. AI has definitely been something that is being in discussion for a year now. Well, it's for much, much longer than a year, but I would say commonly discussed since ChatGPT made its big launch and has really changed a lot of things. I can give my opinion, not that my opinion matters much, but I think that using AI in light of the difficulties that it's placing on the creative fields, all of the creative fields, but also voiceover and acting, of course, it had a big effect, big presence, at least in the strikes. And I think not using AI for things where intellectual property has been used to train it on is pretty important. And for making posters, obviously, that's largely or maybe even entirely trained on stolen art, which is something that we're fighting in the creative industry. So I think it's nice to stay away from it, maybe entirely, and use other technologies to make posters from maybe using photos of the team or something else would be my opinion on the matter. Katrina, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah.
Just throwing this at you on the spot.
On AI? Yeah, I have a few thoughts on AI. I do think there are, responsible ways to use it and responsible ways not to use it. And there are then the shady gray areas. And I think this is one of those, because obviously art has been trained off of stolen art. Like artists have not been compensated for the AI that they've trained. So that is a part where I'm like, well, yeah, don't use it. But then it's also kind of one of those things like, where do we draw the line of like, I wouldn't pay a person to do this, but I would use AI to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you use AI and you weren't going to pay a person anyway, then it's not really taking anything away. It's just, even though the AI has been trained on like stolen art, so that's its own thing.
Yeah.
but monetarily speaking, if you weren't going to pay a person and you're not taking a job away from a person, then it's technically kind of ethical, except for the whole like it being trained on art. So I would say like if you're going to pay like $30 to a friend to make a sign, but instead you're thinking of like doing AI art, just pay the friend.
Yeah.
Just pay the friend. If like you weren't and you're just like, I have no skills, I cannot get Canva to work, like I don't know what I'm doing, then maybe. I'm still like in the no side, but also I understand there's like the middle ground.
Yeah.
So
And I think like a lot of those tools too, like the Canva stuff, and even there's other tools out there that are so easy that it's, you know, if instead of stealing someone's art, maybe take a little to learn. And I just for our listeners out there, oh, Katrina's back. We lost Katrina for a second.
no.
But I think Katrina's back. We've got some internet issues tonight, my friends. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, and I can actually see your thing in the chat cropping up over top of your face, which is interesting. We are learning that we've got the chat box working, and it's showing up on our screen, which is quite nice. Katrina, you can enjoy that after the show is over.
Amazing. I'm so excited to watch this later and see what I missed.
Oh, I know. It's just a technological like I'm going to put up
Production value. You're valuing up my production.
I've had really weird internet issues all week, so they were kind of better today, so I was like, oh, we'll be fine. But of course.
Yeah, it's freezing a little bit, but yeah, we're gonna improvise and we're gonna roll with it tonight.
We are.
Yeah, what you didn't see is I put up the production value graphic, which doesn't at all fit tonight. At all. It does not fit tonight. All right, let's move on from AI. We're going to the next slide right now, which, oh yes, all right. I'm kind of sneaking a little bit of plugs in here. I've put up a screen, which Katrina cannot see, of my podcast about finding the unusual thing and communicating between people in scenes. And I'll just put a link in the show notes, podcast episode. And we're just going to move on from that to our word of the week. Katrina, why do we have a word of the week in here?
Oh, so we can use it in scenes.
That is correct. We like to use interesting words and scenes. They add a sense of unexpectedness. And by we, I mean some of us. Some of us improvisers like to add interesting, curious words in our scenes, get them in there. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a learning thing. It's fun to learn new things. So this week's word of the week is bilious. Bilious. Bilious for our podcast listeners. And this means a peevish, ill-natured disposition. Or it means incredibly unpleasant, spiteful, or bad-tempered. Oh, it's been a week. It's been a week.
Oh my.
I
feel like I should ask now, are you okay, Jen?
We're doing wellness checks on the show tonight.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
Yes, we're good. This word can also relate to bile, nausea, or affected by some kind of bilious or bile-related disorder. So that's what it can also mean. It is a multifaceted word. Do you see yourself using that in a scene perhaps this week, Katrina?
Probably not.
Probably not. Well, that's good. No incredibly unpleasant, spiteful, or bad-tempered characters.
No,
Katrina.
maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The week is still young. It's only
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's a young week.
It's a young week.
All right, moving on.
Middle-aged week.
Middle-aged week. Yes. We have scene sprinkles now. This is facts that we have learnt during the week that we might add to scenes like we add interesting words. Katrina has the first sprinkle detail, and that's on this slide right here. Katrina.
Yes. So this I found on a TikTok video talking about wild turkeys and how fast they go. And they go 55 miles per hour. They can fly 55 miles per hour, which I feel like is too fast for a turkey.
Yes.
Like it's faster than I want a turkey to be able to fly. So yeah, I felt like that's gonna haunt my dreams. It should haunt yours too.
Yes, I watched the video, which we will link in the show notes. And this one did haunt my dreams, and that's only because I have I think a respect for birds after I've seen some of the destruction they can do and those talons.
I was gonna say after you've seen Jurassic Park, because me too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that would be apt as well.
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
I have, but not
Okay,
for a
good.
long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good gauging question for like just people.
What does that prove? Now I'm curious. What does that prove? If I said not for a long time,
I feel like
does that
just
categorize me?
since you've seen it, it's all good. It's like the same level of like, but if you haven't seen it,
right.
either I consider you, and this is judgmental on my part, I know,
Okay,
but
good.
I just consider you lame.
Right.
A little.
Just a little lame. Just
a little.
touch.
Not like a whole lot, just like okay.
All right.
You know, it's not like I've lost respect for you. It's just like it's been dampened for a second.
All right. But I wouldn't be bilious because that would be
No.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like okay, I know that about you now.
All right. I can accept that.
Okay.
All right. But I have seen it, so I'm not
okay. Yeah. See, everything's fine.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So this next slide for our audio listeners is depicting a snow, like a toboggan. It kind of looks like a ski jump or a toboggan chute or whatever those toboggan lanes are. But this is in Montreal, and they do this during the winter. It made me flash memory to during the summer where I live. We do this kind of thing, but for zucchinis.
I'm so sorry. You do a luge for zucchinis?
We have a zucchini race where I live, and it kind of looks like this. It's
okay.
And for our listeners, there's like boards, like 2x4s down the side of this slide. So it's like a hand constructed slide. It's much smaller than this because it's for zucchinis and not human beings.
And you just send a zucchini down there.
You walk up a very scary looking ladder, and then you have your zucchini, which is outfit with wheels and other decor because you need to make them as fancy as you possibly can. Some people play with weights because the first zucchini that makes it down the zucchini slide is top zucchini and wins the respect of my general region.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
It's that easy and that difficult at the same time to earn people's respect where you're at.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so this next slide here, because I then got curious about this Montreal-based slide, and they have a whole bunch of slides in Montreal, and they call like tobogganing and sledding and stuff sliding, I guess when they translate it to English, or just in English, their English terminology, because Montreal is both. But they have illuminated ones. So I felt immediately disappointed by what I'd found, but then delighted by what I subsequently found on the subsequent search that led me to illuminated, like techno slides in Montreal. And this felt like something that could be sprinkled into a scene somehow at some point.
I don't know if I'm ever going to have another scene where I don't bring this up.
Right?
I will work into every scene a zucchini slide.
Exactly. I have once, because like I'm flash memory. It's a very strong memory for me participating in the zucchini races, we call them. It's a zucchini race because, to beat all other zucchinis. That people have grown, of course. These aren't supermarket purchased zucchinis. These are grown zucchinis. Yes. And
zucchinis do get like less edible the bigger they get, right? Or like not like, I don't know if they're like completely inedible, but they're like less edible.
Yes. Yeah. You let them grow smaller, they're more tender, and then they get a tougher, more fibrous type texture as they get older. And then you leave them on the vine for as long as you possibly can to save the seeds out of them. And by then they are completely inedible as a zucchini. That is opposite for winter squash, however, which are of a different family. There are different species, but those ones you eat at the later stages when they're fully grown. I'm certain that there are several people wondering why we are going so far down the rabbit hole of gardening on an improv show. Shall we next slide as a result? Oh.
Sure. I was just going to say, because we're making it up as we go.
We are making it up as we go. It's like, oh, this is interesting. Let's talk about this. We're following the shiny object. Right now,
exactly.
The shiny object is the gardening. This next slide, for our audio listeners, this is the GeoCities gallery screen is up right now. Now, why on earth is this up? Because I sprinkled in a URL to a website that I built in the 90s. This week in a scene. That was my scene sprinkle that then led to subsequent research. And I was looking for where are the GeoCities sites. And there are several repositories online where you can go find them. And this is kind of like a reverse scene sprinkle, I suppose.
It's like a scene sprinkle brag a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, I am definitely bragging that I sprinkled this in that led to further research. And my website is not online. Next slide.
All right.
If this stunning content disappointed you personally, if you feel offended by the amount of gardening you just heard on an improv show, we would invite you to send us better content. Right, Katrina?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Also, if you haven't seen Jurassic Park, don't tell me. But if you have seen Jurassic Park, tell me.
I would say tell Katrina either way and allow Katrina to judge you.
Okay.
And put you in
the
appropriate category.
Yeah. It's like you consent to be judged if you tell me either way. If you see Jurassic Park or not. So,
all right, you heard it here. So our URL where you can reach us is ween.is, ween.is. That will take you or us, anyone, to a page that has a form in it where you can contact us and find all the other pertinent information about this show. And you can find us on social media at WN Improv Show. That's our handle.
It is.
Yeah.
Did we have plugs? Were we doing this?
We do have plugs. We do. Katrina disappeared again.
Did my internet fail again?
Yeah, but we can still hear you, which is good. There you go. You're back. You're back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the audio stuck around, so our podcast listeners can be relieved.
This whole show is just zucchini and Katrina saying
disappeared. Oh, we have lost all internet. Are you back?
I don't know.
Yes, well, that's just a whole bunch of internet. We actually lost the stream there for a second, but I believe our stream is back. Yeah, we're having fun tonight. All right, well, let's move on while we still have internet to a brand new segment that we have tonight. All right. Should we listen to TJ's movie minute?
We shall. I don't know if I can hear it, so you'll have to tell me how it went.
I will tell you how it went. You might be able to hear it maybe on Twitch if the internet holds up. But this
stopped working for me, so we'll see.
Okay, well, we'll see. You have to watch it in the replay, I'm
Let's
afraid.
roll the tape
We'll
anyway.
roll the tape. This is our friend TJ doing a movie minute. These movies all feature improvisers in our general universe of improvisers. So this is TJ.
Slow learners. This is one of my favorite movies ever. I love it so much. Sarah Burns is a genius, one of my heroes. I love her. Adam Pawley is fantastic. They both have amazing chemistry, amazing banter in this movie. It's about two responsible people portrayed by Sarah Burns and Adam Pawley, both teachers, both very responsible, not wild people in the slightest, very, very straight-laced. And, they one day decide, let's go crazy, let's get wild. And they essentially spend an entire summer going wild. And I'm not going to give it away because I don't want to give away, a lot of awesome, hilarious parts in this movie because it's so good. Like, just watch it. Just watch it, please. I am sugar rushed right now. And this is like the first time I've enjoyed a sugar rush in a while. Because usually, the last time I was sugar rushed, it was a little crazy. I started envisioning my funeral. I started envisioning my wedding. It was really weird. But watch this movie. It's great. Slow learners.
This
is one of my favorite movies ever.
All right.
I love it so much.
We've got
Sarah
the audio
Burns is a
still
genius. One of my
going
heroes. I
again.
love her.
We've
Adam
got
Pawley is fantastic. They both have
no
amazing
end.
chemistry.
I could hear
amazing
that.
banter in this.
And it was amazing. Thank you, TJ. Please keep doing that.
TJ, you have to keep doing that for us. Thank you so much for submitting a movie minute. And I watched the movie last night, and it is really good. I really enjoyed it.
What streaming service was it on?
I don't remember.
Oh, dang it.
So I am completely useless right now.
I'll
will
check
add
the
it.
internet if it's working.
Yes, if the internet's working, and I'll find it for the show notes as well. There's the Just Watch, I believe, or something that will say wherever you can find that. But it's a great movie, and there's a lot of a lot of improvisers that you will recognize in that for sure right away.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Including Peter Groves from Rat Scraps, right off the top of the movie. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun.
It is. It is
What
fun.
fun.
It is. What fun. It's delightful. Just like this show that keeps breaking. All right. Well, before we go too much further, we should get to that plug section. I will bring that up.
Plugs.
All right. Katrina, do you have any plugs?
I, again, do not. Watch this. Check out our social media. We have, I think, still 8 followers on TikTok. We would love a 9. We would love a 9. Yeah.
Yeah, 9 would be great. That 9 is
9
my goal
good.
for the next episode. For me, I'm plugging. I've got a character class coming up. You can join the wait list. Spots do open up, so if you're interested in that, we're going to be doing point of view drills in that class. So what your character wants, what your character thinks, which is good to have in an improv scene. I also have a class series coming up if you want to do a show in Restream, a different streaming thing that doesn't break like this one. We're going to do a show in that, and it's going to also go out to a podcast on the Ouija's channel. So, but before that, you're going to learn it. We're going to do all sorts of character stuff, developing characters, sustaining characters, because you'll sustain it across a 4-show series. We're going to, of course, get into world building. It'll be a big part of it. So there's going to be lots of techniques that you'll learn before we do those shows. So check that out. It's on wgimprovschool.com, which is where this stream is coming from. So thanks. That's my plug.
Good plug.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I tried really hard to plug that.
You plugged it real good.
Real good.
Real good.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. I'll take that note. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got an important part of the show coming up. Katrina, can you guess what it is while I find the button?
I'm assuming it's the changing of the will.
Changing.
Or as I think last week we came up with changing of the wall Hines.
Changing of the wall Hines. All right. There it is.
That's a good one.
It's
Is
so much
that is that
fanfare.
from Very Mary Kate?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna. Oh, I should say I'm not gonna tell, but if somebody knows it, you win. You win. So somebody knows where this is from. If you can find where this is from, let us know in any social media platform or form, and you will win.
You will.
Yeah.
You won't win anything, but you will win.
You will win our eternal respect.
Unless you haven't watched Jurassic Park, or your zucchini didn't make it down the luge.
Yeah. See, and now you've learned so much about our point of views as real people and not characters.
I have opinions, and they're bad ones, but they are mine.
Yes, we own our own bad opinions. And on that note, is there anything else for the show, Katrina, or should we call it?
I really feel like we've packed this one with lots of good content. We don't need to anymore.
Okay, we've contented it out. We've reached peak content, so we should roll credits.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for watching into our chat.
Thank you so much, chat. Thank you so much, listeners on the podcast. We're rolling a whole bunch of text that you don't see, but boy, oh boy, is it pretty.
It's all about how we,
I don't know.
I feel like we ended at a good point. My brain just took a nosedive off the plateau.
Oh, my brain's smush, so we should call a blackout on this one. All right. And